Alright, just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Podcast. It is Wednesday, February the 22nd, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Howdy.
Howdy.
Harry's in the car. I like it.
In the dark, actually.
In the dark.
Boo doo 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 doo.
This is how you get the young listeners.
Yeah.
Throw a little Billy Squire reference.
Billy Squire reference. Yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh, you know, they all know Billy Squire. Who doesn't know Billy Squire? Come on. Come on.
7/8 of the population.
There you go. All right. Even people older than us don't know Billy Squire.
Well, people older than us definitely don't know Billy Squire. People younger than us definitely don't know Billy Squire. And half the people that are our age that did know Billy Squire no longer remember Billy Squire.
No longer remember Billy Squire, right? Exactly. So I did meet him. Nice guy. And it didn't even look like him, too. I've told you the story before. So
where'd you meet him at a
no, he was
IPA event?
No. Ringo Starr and his all-star band concert. At the end of the show, they all come out and sing Goodbye with a Little Help from My Friends. He was all the way to the right, scraggly gray hair, gray scruff, ripped black T-shirt, ripped black jeans, faded.
Oh,
thought it was a roadie. Didn't even look like Billy Squire. Saw him afterwards outside. He started talking to me as I'm walking by. Had a 2-minute conversation, 3-minute conversation with him. Walked away. Still didn't know who he was. Looked up the next day. It was Billy Squire.
Yeah, I was at Ringo Starr's Juicy IPA release.
It was a Juicy IPA release. Yes, yes, it was. Yeah. Ringo Starr's and it had nothing to do with beer. That was the weird thing.
Billy Squire's Tattered Stout.
Tattered Stout. I like that. Tattered Gray Stout. There you go. But in any event, on that note of comedy, I found these the other day. I want your opinion on them really quick. I'll blow through them each. There was this sign. I don't know what you think of that. Left lane closed when closed.
Well, it's not a lie.
That's true.
Redundancy, maybe, you know.
Yeah. This one, there's another one right here. Sign not in use. Is it?
Well, I think it might refer to another sign.
Maybe
it's referring to itself. Yeah.
Well, there's nothing above it. See, the pole doesn't go up.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's true.
This one was good. 24-hour parking. Violators will be towed.
So is that more than 24 or less?
Maybe it's just one group of 24 hours, and then you can never park there again.
You have to park for exactly 24 hours.
That's the thing. Is there a window? Is there a window like 23 to 25?
Like if
you got 2 minutes on either side.
Right. If you try to leave at 22 and a half hours, you're getting ticketed.
$50.
You're getting towed. They'll pull you. They'll hook you up while you're driving it and tow you away.
Yeah. As you're leaving, they'll come right up like like an action movie and hook right up to a tow truck.
Exactly.
Actually, I like that idea. I think they keep tabs on you.
Maybe.
Like they my microphone a little closer. They add up all the time. Like, okay, yesterday he was here for an hour and a half. Last week he was here one day for 25 minutes. Today he was here for 48 minutes. Right. And then eventually you get to 24 hours, and then if you go over, you're gone.
You're gone.
I mean, if you hit 24 hours, you can get benefits, right? Isn't that what happens?
It's you start you become full-time.
Yes.
Full-time parker. Yeah. So then there was this one. Obey this sign.
Well, that could be a what's his name? The graphic artist who does all the Obey stuff. So.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, there you go. Then there was this one.
Is there an Andre the Giant there?
I had to look at it. Anyone caught exiting through the store will be asked to leave.
Well, that sounds like a Yogi Berraism.
Exactly. That's what I thought. And then the last one.
You walk out that door, and I'm going to ask you to leave.
You walk out that door, you can keep going.
Well, that's different. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, yes and no. Then there was this one. This is pretty good. Safety ladder. Use at your own risk.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
it's safer than something, but it's still a risk.
It's still a risk. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't actually say that it's not dangerous.
Right.
Don't stand above this rung.
So it could be slightly safer than a regular ladder, which might be incredibly dangerous.
Well, it didn't say safe. It didn't say safer ladder. It said safety ladder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a specific type of safety ladder, but that doesn't mean it's not still dangerous. I think if you fall off the top of a safety ladder
what I love?
or any ladder,
a lot of my days. Here's my thing with ladders. They always have do not stand on this rung or above this rung.
Right.
Why don't they just make the ladder one rung shorter?
Good point. I love it.
It's just really testing us to see if it's just really seeing that because every time I see some bastard on that fucking rung.
Right. I love it when I see somebody just standing on the top of the ladder.
Well, that's always in my world. Yeah.
That's just great. That's just lovely. So anyway, all right. We're going to talk a little Super Bowl. Before we get there, I want to give you just a quickie, and I got to ask both of you what your opinion is on this just a quickie. So let me throw up the just a quickie crawl there. All right, Pete, we'll start with you. What are you more excited for, the USFL or the XFL?
I'm going to say the XFL.
All right. Harry, you?
I don't know the difference.
Neither do I.
Are they both football leagues?
Yeah. Well, the USFL was the reboot of the early '80s USFL with those teams.
Well, that I get. Yeah.
They're all playing down in Birmingham, Alabama. I think they're playing in Memphis now.
We discussed this before. What's the XFL?
The XFL was the league that started right before the pandemic. That Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has now bought. And
there was a league that started before the pandemic.
Before they played like 4 or 5 games, and then the pandemic shut it down, and that was it.
And so do they play indoors with
no
cords or something?
No. They played regular football. They had other rules where you could line up to kick a 1-point field goal, a 1-point extra point rather. But if you moved it back 10 yards, it would be 2 points. If you moved it back another 20 yards, it would be 3 points. And had other rules like that.
So your extra point could be more than a field goal. No, I say fuck them both.
All right. So Pete is XFL. Harry is neither. Let me throw this twist at you. Would either of you rather watch pickleball?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Women's pickleball.
There you go. But it is pickleball. There you go. That's what I figured. All right. Cool.
Now that I know what it is. I did see people playing pickleball the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool. There's a pickleball.
It's pretty exciting actually.
There's a pickleball league in town that a couple of us were talking about joining. So
it's hot with people over the 60 plus crowd. It's very hot.
It is. Well, a couple of people in the neighborhood that we're talking about joining are 60 plus, but they asked us to join too.
Well, you kind of look like you're 60.
Right, I kind of look like I'm 60. I'm not that far, away. It's far. I mean, Jess is a little bit further, but a little bit.
Let me clarify that for her and for you. He means that she's further away from being looking or being 60.
Both, right? Yes, exactly.
Because the way you said it, it's like, Jess is further away. Like, she's already pickleball shape.
Yeah, not further away from me.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
She's during the podcast. She's as far away as she could possibly.
Absolutely, yeah. She's about 10 miles away right now.
Yeah.
So, anyway, all right. Shall we discuss what went on a week and a half ago in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's old news. Who cares?
It is old news. It is old news.
Yes, we should.
Couple of things. I mean, obviously, yes, the Chiefs. Congrats to the Chiefs. They won. We didn't do the show last week because we did the special Sunday morning show for the Super Bowl. But yeah. So to recap it, this is the first show, obviously, since the Super Bowl. So yeah. I mean, congrats to the Chiefs. We'll start it this way. Harry, hold or no hold?
All right, here's my take on the Super Bowl. Okay, and I gotta incorporate it all. Look,
I'm gonna pour my drink while you talk about it.
I think that there's three pillars of the Super Bowl. Number one, the field was a fucking mess, and yeah, that's not an excuse. Both teams had to play on it, but
the field was a mess. Well,
the field was a mess. Number two.
Okay, good.
Number two, the Eagles got outcoached, and their defense got completely outplayed in the second half. And number three, and I've had arguments with people about this, under no fucking circumstance do you throw a flag on that play and basically end the game and hand it over to the Chiefs. You do not throw a flag on that play. Now, well, Bradbury says it was a penalty, and the coach said, fuck, I don't care. And you know what? A lot of sports announcers agree with me. I've heard even Stephen A. Smith, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, a lot of people saying this was the worst call in the history of the Super Bowl. You do not allow this to happen. Number one, it was an uncatchable ball. Number two, let them kick the field goal and give the Eagles a chance, as they should have had. Kansas City may very well have won that game. I think they probably still would have. But that call was ridiculous. And if it's by the letter of the law, then guess what? We need to start changing some of this stuff, because you cannot play defense if that's the rules. I'm done. That's my rant.
All right. Before we get to Pete's rebuttal on that, I just want to show one thing. They did release a picture of the groundskeeper for the Super Bowl field, and there it is right there. Carl Spector.
Yes. He's highly regarded.
He is.
I did not see it go for them.
It was a Cinderella story. I got to tell you that.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was his first time. It was his first time working on a football field.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for some time yet.
I don't even think it was Carl. Actually, I think it was the poor man's Carl Spackler, Tony Romo from the commercial.
It was Tony Romo.
It wasn't even the real Spackler.
Right.
It was Romo.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You would have known if it was Romo. You would have had a fucking Wikipedia dissertation on the history of groundskeeping.
There you go. Right, exactly. All right, Pete, hold or no
hold? Yes, it was definitely a hold. I'm going to defer to, I think it was Russ Porter, who I heard speaking shortly after the Super Bowl on one of the sports shows. And he said a couple of interesting things. I agree the field was a mess. He said he doesn't know if that was on purpose, but a sloppy field is good for offense.
Absolutely.
Because the defensive line, in particular, it's hard to dig in. And also, it's because it's slippery. You don't know the count like the offense does, so you can't get a good jump. And it also makes it hard to defend against for the D-backs, because they slip and slide when they're trying to cut. The receiver knows where the receiver's going, but the D-back doesn't. So that was one thing he said. The other thing that he said was players will get a feel for how the game is being played early, as far as the referees and what they're doing and what they're calling and what they're not calling. And they will play the game that way for the rest of the game. Maybe first half, second half, maybe first quarter, whatever it might be.
Yeah, great point.
And the fact that there was not a lot being called, I don't even know how many holds were being called in the game. But there were certainly, he pointed to one, maybe two plays earlier involving the same two players and a very similar, if not perhaps slightly more egregious hold by the defensive back early in the game that was not called. So when that happens, right, his point is when that happens a number of times, players go, okay, don't drag the guy down by his jersey, but they're letting us play. And it was that inconsistency that is the lack of consistency is a problem, because then you get into that sort of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, definitely a hold. Should not have been called. And then the point Harry made about being uncatchable and all that. It was a shame, because it would have been nice to see Philly get a chance. I mean, it didn't, KC was going to kick the field goal one way or the other, but Philly did not get their chance they didn't get their last ups. And it was a shame that a game that good, and look, it wasn't the only call, right? I think even what's the Philly coach? Sirianno said after the game, it's a whole series of calls. No single one wins or loses the game. But that one took away Philly's chance at either tying the game or maybe getting a win with a touchdown.
Well, yeah, I agree. And I think that the other call that just baffles me is the catch that they overturned that would have maybe changed the complexion of the game. That I think personally, having looked at it a bunch of times, it was clear that was a catch, and they overturned it. Mm-hmm. So,
you can go both ways with that. Exactly. Then Philly doesn't score on that drive, and the Chiefs might, at least score a field goal, if not another touchdown. So, I mean, 6 to 1, half dozen the other. At that point, they would have been up. If that was the case, they would have been by 10 or 17 even at that point because of that one play. So.
I think what changed this game was when Jalen Hurts had a great game, but his one mistake was a game changer. That fumble really changed, I think, the nature of the game.
Oh, sure. Hell yeah.
Their inability to score at the end of the half, I was like, you know what? This is actually leaning towards KC right now, because the Eagles are having a hard time, A, holding on to the ball, and B, capitalizing on their scoring opportunities. And that Kansas City is not gonna be that way for the whole game. So I mean, look, I said this. I thought this was quite possibly the most evenly matched. I don't think two of the better teams to ever play in the Super Bowl, but I think two very evenly matched teams. And the game was an enjoyable game, and it was a really well contested, close game. And I mean, I think it was the third highest rated Super Bowl or something like that in the history of the Super Bowl. So good for the NFL, and I thought it was a good game. It played out as I thought it would. I thought it was going to come down to the last possession, and it did.
Was the Dallas Goedert catch that they challenged and lost the challenge? Was it a catch, or did
yes.
It was a catch?
It was definitely a catch.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think it was.
Fair enough.
But then you had then they were talking about a third step. When were we ever talking about a third step? It was getting the ball, making a football move, and maybe 2 steps.
Yeah. What is this, a polka now? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was.
Well, no, he didn't take that 6th step. He didn't gain 10 yards after the catch, so it's incomplete.
Not only did he catch the ball, but he did get 3 feet down, because the second 2 he dragged. So it was like, all right, I could see if it was 1, 2 and out, but it was 1, 2, beating 3, and he had it for those. And I was just like, okay. Now I will say this, and I think they got this one right. I do think that the fumble, that was brought back as an incomplete, I think that was the right call. Watching that in real time, I was like, this is definitely going to blow the game away. But I do think they got that one right. But that was close. That was really close. I do think that they got that one right. But if you're a Chiefs fan, you might have been complaining about that call. I get it.
No, you definitely were, and I want to tell you why. And they were doing the same thing over there with that one. 3rd football move. He did make a football move. He had possession of the ball. The ball didn't move. He made a football move. He turned. He had 2 feet down. It's damn close. You're absolutely right. Yeah. It's a hair either way, and a hair further than it's definitely a catch.
He was bobbling the ball as he made that last move before he got hit.
No, I'm not talking about Dallas Goedert. I'm talking about the fumble.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Same thing there.
Right.
I agree. And by the way, isn't any move on a football field a football move?
Well, no, it's whatever the refs deem a football move.
I know.
According to the script, I guess is what everybody's saying. That's
they need to simplify some of this stuff. And you know what? For two teams that have pretty good defenses, for this to be a 70+ point Super Bowl, we might. I like protecting the quarterback. I like protecting the receivers, but we have to do something. This is getting into the territory of when they first took the hand check away in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Let's relook at some of this stuff a little bit, folks.
Well, one thing that they are definitely going to relook at too, and I read the story this morning, is that they are going to relook at the quarterback push, the tush push they're calling it now, how Jalen Hurts gets all of his 4th and 1s, right? The quarterback sneak. Now they're not going to outlaw quarterback sneaks, but before 2005, that move was illegal. You couldn't push the guy from behind. They made it become legal, not because they thought it should be legal, but because no refs were ever calling it. Nobody was ever calling it.
They didn't want to be accused of being homophobic.
Maybe so, but in any event, that's why the rule was changed. That's why the rule was changed 18 years ago. But they're going to relook at it. So.
Philly does that better than.
Oh yeah, but you know what though? You get the right 2 or 3 backs behind the quarterback pushing, and the right offensive line in front of them. You can't defend that. You can't. That's seriously the way Jalen Hurts was doing it, and the way the Eagles were doing it. They literally could line up in that formation for every play and move down the field and score a touchdown. Every. You know what I mean?
You have to have a young quarterback, because if you did that with Tom Brady, you'd break his back. So I think you gotta have a young quarterback.
But in any event, they're going to relook at that, and don't be surprised if that. Now, obviously, there'll be quarterback sneaks, but there's not going to be anybody pushing them anymore behind them, so that's going to be taken away. So, so it seems anyway.
The NFL has a bad habit of trying to clarify things by making them more complicated.
Right.
Which does just the opposite with the catch rule and all that stuff. So, it wasn't there. There were some glaring errors in the officiating of the game, but it was a good game. Again, it's a shame it ended the way it did. But I don't know. It's still a not satisfying overall, but when you look at which were the good Super Bowls and which were the bad ones, this one was still a good Super Bowl, despite the disappointing ending. So
yeah, and to your point there, Pete, I had the same feeling in the AFC Championship game. I mean, great win both times by the Chiefs, but because of just, and I'm not saying that call in the AFC Championship game should not have been made, but I just wish that the play wasn't done, that it wasn't made, because it just left, it built up, it took a great game and sort of left both of them on a little bit of a sour note. It was a little anticlimactic to me.
Yeah, because the game wasn't given a chance to play out on the field.
Right. Right. Exactly.
That's what it is. You want the resolution to happen based upon players and the plays made, and not a penalty that basically allows another team to run down the clock. And we can get into the whole sliding and not going into the end zone and running out the clock and all that, whether that's smart strategy or whether it's
it worked.
It works.
It does work, so you can't say that it doesn't work. But I know
Well, he did. I was going to say
myself and other people. I find it distasteful.
He was actually able to do.
Yeah, I agree.
He was able to do what Ahmad Bradshaw wasn't able to do in 2012.
Yeah, there've been a few goals. There are guys.
Anyway, he has stopped, and he realized when he was on the 1 yard line, he should stop. He didn't slide, and he fell into the end zone, which gave Brady a minute.
You know what, guys? My take on it is score the touchdown, make them score a touchdown. I mean, the difference is that they managed the clock so well that they really didn't have any time left. So to that extent, I do give look. I think the Chiefs executed better. I think that we discussed this on the day of the Super Bowl. Andy Reid and the coaching staff for the Chiefs outcoached the Eagles coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. And now the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator are gone now because they're both the Colts and the
for Philly.
Yeah.
For Philly,
yeah.
The team that lost. Like that's a whole nother.
I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but what does Eric Bieniemy need to do to get a fucking head coach?
maybe there's and I heard this the other day, and I was thinking the same thing, but I heard this the other day. Maybe there's something going on because Andy Reid is not going to coach the Chiefs forever, so he's the heir apparent. It's like the Josh McDaniel of Kansas City. Like everybody said that Josh McDaniel's staying with Belichick all these years over and over and over again because it's going to be his team. But Belichick's going to coach until he's 95.
But
so
Josh McDaniel's left twice.
Yeah,
look,
but that's the thing.
If Bieniemy got a shot, he's going to leave. Look, Bieniemy got a ringing endorsement from Tyreek Hill. So what? I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, they're saying. Some people are saying, well, because Andy Reid's calling the plays, and not that Bieniemy doesn't do anything, but maybe he needs to be an offensive coordinator that actually calls the plays before someone, which is complete bullshit.
Right.
He absolutely should.
Right. If I'm Eric Bieniemy, though, I'm staying there too because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. You want to figure Reid's going to be.
Reid's going to be retiring.
Yeah.
It's going to be his team. Spagnola's not getting a job. He's going to get the job. He's got a team that's why would you leave? I mean, yeah, you want a chance to be a head coach, but for all intents and purposes, you're going to be there. So why would you want to leave?
I'll tell you why. Because nobody's ever given him a definitive time frame on when Andy Reid's going to leave, and nobody's guaranteed him he has the job. That's why. And I'll tell you what, I think Andy Reid's going to coach another 6 to 8 years. I think he's going to try to win another 2 to 3 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes if he stays healthy. Hopefully he does. I think this Chiefs team, look, at the end of the day, Mahomes is he's one of the top 2 guys that you want with the ball in your hand with the game on the line. And those are hard to come by. And he's a phenomenal talent, and there's a synchronicity there with him and Reid and Bieniemy. Look, I don't think Eric Bieniemy's been promised anything as the heir apparent. I think that's why he was interviewing last year.
Yeah, listen, it's not. I don't think it's a case where Bieniemy has turned down interviews. I mean, maybe some really shitty ones. No, he's had like 15 interviews by some account. He's interviewed with tons of people. So it's not where he's going, I think I'm going to stick around. You're offering me jobs, but I think I'm going to stay here and wait till the old man leaves. He's just not getting a job. Now, some people talk about whatever in his past, but
you're absolutely right.
He's not,
right.
He's not getting it. Meanwhile, what's this? I want to call him Sturkin, but that's the goalie, right? Steichen or whatever his name is from Philly, and the guy that engineered the defense that absolutely fucking fell apart in the second half of the Super Bowl. They both get jobs. Granted, not great jobs. You got guys like Bieniemy, you got guys like Jim Caldwell, you got Tom Flores, who not getting head coaching job, or not getting another head coaching job. Yeah,
Tom Flores was the head coach.
Tom Flores isn't getting another head coaching job either, but Brian Flores is the guy.
Yeah, Tom Flores, that'd be great. So, just weekend at Tom Flores.
Weekend at Flores. But I mean,
there was a couple years there for the Giants where that would have been a better option.
Yeah. Very true.
And more than a couple years for the Jets.
The Jets, yeah.
Still maybe an equal option for the Jets.
Yeah. But, on a serious note, I mean, the NFL, despite all the growth and becoming the number one sport and all that, they've got obvious problems. And
a little bit.
As the audience, guys like us, get older, and
there's plenty of young people watching.
There are plenty of young people, but more and more of those young people are, I'm just going to use the term woke, and not in the crazy, ridiculous sense that it gets used. But there are going to be people who go, yeah, I like football, but the whole thing sucks. It's unfair. It uses its players. It's racist. These guys are racist owners, and I'm not going to support them. And maybe I'm going to watch, but I'm not going to any games.
And good for them. They're probably right. Yeah.
But I think that's going to be a growing demographic as we go. Now it's going to take another.
I think you're going to see more and more. Look, just like the NBA, as you see the players take more control from the owners, which is obviously not the case right now in the NFL. But I do think you're going to start to see more diversity in the ownership pool, and we have seen more diversity in the coaching pool, which is also a good thing. So it has changed quite a bit. I would say the biggest difference in young fans versus veteran fans of the NFL is that they don't really they're much like the players. They don't have any loyalty to one team. They watch it from a fantasy football perspective. Yeah, they watch it for individual players. They look at things very, very differently than we do. And they're not really even all that concerned about the outcome of the game. They're really more concerned about who's gonna catch the first ball. Or whatever the case might be, which is okay because it gets more people into the game. But I think the biggest thing that's changed the NFL was first fantasy football, and now all of the betting that's going on.
Gambling.
The gambling has changed the game tremendously. It's brought more people in, but I'm not necessarily sure they're actually football fans. I think that they're watching it from an entertainment / gambling perspective.
I agree. All right. One other thing, I just want to show you this really quick. Patrick Mahomes' picture surfaced. Patrick Mahomes' first professional sports play, or one of the first professional sports plays. There you go. 5-year-old Patrick Mahomes fielding fly balls with Mike Hampton prior to the 2000 World Series.
Yeah.
Who do you think is more proud of that picture, Mahomes or Hampton?
Hampton, definitely.
Mahomes doesn't even remember who that is. I don't even remember who that is.
Who Mike Hampton is?
Wasn't Mike Hampton the defensive end for the Bears?
If you're a Mets fan, you'd remember Mike Hampton.
You remember Mike Hampton.
I know. It was a good joke.
It was a good joke. Fair enough. All right, good. All right. All right, let's switch gears to basketball, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk some b-ball.
A little bit of a different landscape.
We will talk some hot stove football, if you will, periodically throughout the season until August. But now we're switching.
Give us a little break.
I'm kidding. Now switching over to b-ball. Here we go. All right, we're going to start with the new and improved, if you will. There you go. New and improved rapid fire quiz. Starting the first one with NBA instead of NFL, and we're doing it differently. We're going to start with Pete's questions. He's going to answer only 3, not 6, and then we'll go to Harry. So let's get it going. What do you think?
Quick. All right, let's rock and roll.
This is. All right, get the music going here. All right. Here we go. Pete, your first of your 3 questions. Here we go. Number 1. What NBA coach has won the most championships?
I don't know. Red Auerbach?
Hello?
No.
Hello?
Go ahead. Red Auerbach?
I said Red Auerbach.
You got to shut the music down.
Oh, all right. Red Auerbach. How many did Red Auerbach win?
I'll say 11.
You say 11. Okay. Who won 12?
Red Auerbach Jr.
There you go. All right. Harry, you want to steal?
Red Auerbach was not the answer?
Hold on.
I can't hear you with this fucking horrible music.
All right. Well, you're hearing it better than anybody else, so it's way down. It's lower than it's ever been.
Must be those music-based headphones.
Music-based. I pulled these questions. I didn't come up with them myself. I pulled these off of a thing. So let's do some double checking really quick. We'll ask the rest, and I'll go afterwards. Here we go. All right, Pete, you're number 2.
All right.
What center won back-to-back MVPs with 2 different teams in the 1980s?
Come on, you know this.
What center?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Kareem.
Nope. Harry for the
Okay.
steal.
Moses Malone.
There you go.
Yeah, I would have known that.
You would have known that? You wouldn't have known
No.
that?
No.
All right. So that's a Harry one. All right, Pete, your third one. Here we go. Which
right.
coach led the 2008 Celtics to the NBA championship?
Celtics coach in 2008. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Celtics coach 2008.
Yeah.
I don't know. Danny Ainge?
No, that would be wrong. Harry for the steal.
Well, Ray Allen, wasn't he the coach? Player coach. I am drawing a blank on this. I should know this. I do not know. I do not know.
Wow. All right. No worries. All right. That would be Doc Rivers.
I forgot that Doc actually, I thought, but then for some reason I thought Doc never won a championship as a coach.
Doc Rivers. And going back to Pete's first question, I was correct. Red Auerbach did not. Red Auerbach is not. The person, there's a different person. So, Pete, you want to take another guess? Because you both obviously were wrong, Red Auerbach. So we'll go around again. Pete, what NBA coach has the most championships?
It's Phil Jackson.
There you go.
Yeah, of course.
There you go. All right.
Forgot about the Laker years.
There you go. All right. So in that one, Pete.
Here comes the music again.
Here you go. Pete, you have Pete's one, Harry one, and then the third question you both got wrong. Okay, Harry, your three. Here we go.
Can you turn the music off, please? I can't hear you.
You really can't at all.
I can't hear you. All I hear is the music.
All right.
That's insane. It's so
it's so low.
I know, but it's blaring in my ears. I don't know what's going on.
That's crazy. All right, no worries. All right, we'll go musicless for this one. No worries. All right, Harry, since I started one that I thought was easier for Pete, which you wound up getting anyway, we'll start with you with an easy one anyway. Where is LeBron James originally from?
Ohio.
Very good. All right. Question 2. Where did Kevin Durant play college basketball?
Kentucky?
Kentucky is wrong. Radio Pete?
Oh, man. I'll say I don't know, Villanova.
Villanova would be wrong. You both got it wrong. Okay. That would be University of Texas. He went to University of Texas.
Texas.
I was going to say Oklahoma, but
I was thinking Oklahoma too, but
you would have been closer with Oklahoma, but
yeah.
All right, next.
All right, and question number 3. What was the first year the 24-second shot clock was used?
Oh, that would have been 1983.
That would be wrong. Radio Pete?
I'll say college or in the pros?
In the pros. In the this NBA.
Yeah, no, I'm stalling. Keep going. I'll say Jesus, 24-second clock. I don't know, 1990.
Ooh. Thought you were going to go back. Nope. Neither of you are right. 1954. 1954.
I wouldn't have gone back that far.
There you go. Right,
the NBA was around in 54?
Apparently so, yeah, right?
And they had already established that it was taking too long to shoot.
Yeah, that's right. Hurry up and shoot, you fucks.
Exactly.
Game 7 of the 53 finals, the score was 6-4.
That's right.
There you go. Well, I mean, this is a good pattern. I think we'll do it from now on. Harry, when he's using his regular headphones, we'll go back to the music. But 2-1. Harry won again, but 2-1. So there you go. There you go. All right. That brings us to some NBA discussion. It's All-Star Weekend was last weekend. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what we want to talk about tonight. Our top 5 NBA players each current top 5 NBA players. Harry, you start us off. Give us your top 5.
All right. Now I'm going to preface this by saying I think that there's other players, but I'm talking about players that are having a significant impact for their team at this moment.
I already have your number 1 in there. So
yeah. So this is in no particular order because I think the first 3 I can't differentiate who's the best. I don't think anyone can if they are realistic NBA fans. But I'm going to go Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. I think that those 3, obviously all 3 being big men, probably the 3 top candidates I think for MVP right now. My 4th is going to be Jason Tatum, who I think is even having a better year than he did last year. And also I think should be high on that list for MVP. And my 5th is going to surprise some people. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, this guy is quietly dominating at the guard position. And I'll tell you what, we with the trade deadline passing and people talking about, what do teams need to move on? If Oklahoma City does not put some players around him, and Oklahoma City's improved a lot over the last couple of years with him, I think you're going to see this guy become one of the biggest names on the free market when his contract is up. I think he did sign an extension with OKC, but I'm not 100% sure. You put this guy on the Nuggets, and game over. Mm-hmm. He's that good. And he's a two-way player. But I think he's averaging almost 2 steals a game, 1.8 steals a game, too. That's my top 5.
There you go. All right, RadioPete, yours.
All right, I'm gonna go 5-1, and I'm my number 5 is, how do you pronounce his name? Shai
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, there you go.
SGA, baby.
Yeah, he's.
I'm glad you had
good.
Him too. I'm glad you had him too. I didn't think.
I heard about him last week, and then I started looking. And I was like, "Yeah, this guy's a freaking monster, toiling away in obscurity." Which it's like that's. I think NBA TV or whoever has the the contract, they ought to have like one game every week with one of these guys, right? An unknown. Absolutely. Somebody unknown, who's not in a big market, who's, and certainly he should be talked about more. He's getting some press and some noise in the sportsosphere now. But yeah,
there we go.
My number 4, I'm going to put LeBron.
Yeah,
because LeBron is a monster, and
I can't argue with that.
We'll see what the Lakers do the rest of the season. But I think they might get into the playoffs if Anthony Davis can stay healthy. But LeBron is LeBron, and he's great, and whatever, he keeps them afloat. My number 3 is Embiid, Philly. So I hate him, but he's great.
He's a hell of a talent.
I don't care what he says. I like the way that he chirps and talks and all that.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Giannis, the Greek Freak. There's no denying. And there's a couple guys I left off. I left off guys that are hurt.
Right. As did I, which helps. Gives us. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It takes a couple of big names right out of that.
Yeah.
And then my number 1 is your man in Denver.
The motherfucker's averaging a triple-double. He's averaging a triple-double. And it's not like he's coming around. He's not averaging a Draymond Green triple-double. It's 25, 14, and 11 or so, or 10 or so. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm coming around to the Joker bandwagon, and I think, if he keeps on, he should be MVP again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to argue against it. I mean, even the people that on national television who do not want to give him his due, they're just like, I just can't not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's really is the definition of the most valuable.
Yeah, especially because even though the Nuggets have Porter and Murray back, they both missed half the year already, and now Aaron Gordon's out. They go and play Dallas, and it's like, okay, well, this is a game the Nuggets are going to lose, and no, he comes up with another triple double. He has triple doubles in almost 45% of the games that he's played this year. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. Well, it was a couple of years ago. Westbrook went on the
right,
but for a whole season, right?
The difference is that I think that Jokic's triple doubles have a much bigger impact on his team because they're undefeated when he has a triple double, and obviously they're not when he doesn't. So it makes a big difference.
So there you go, number one.
So there you go. All right. Okay. I will give you mine. I'm going to start off by saying that while I do recognize the talent there, because both of you put Joel Embiid on your lists, I'm not going to put him on mine.
Okay.
So, which gives me a spot to be a homer and bring my number 5 in just because of what he's been doing lately on the court with the Knicks, Jalen Brunson.
You think Jalen Brunson's having a better year than Julius Randle?
No, I don't. But the last week and a half, I went really
right
current.
now.
I went really current. I went
really
like right now.
No, I got you.
He's got 23 points tonight.
Yeah, no, he's
40 the other night, 28 the other day.
No,
I mean,
I got you. I got player of the week, definitely. That's
yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Yeah. So I threw him in there. That was kind of a homer thing for me. Obviously, Joel Embiid would be there over him, but that was kind of a homer thing for me. My number 4 was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Absolutely.
Wow.
That's for certain. He's he needs Oklahoma needs to get people there for him. They really do.
The fact that the three of us are talking about it, we've just now tripled the amount of
coverage,
national coverage that people have been talking about here. Yeah.
That's insane. My number 3, Giannis. For my number 3.
I mean, Giannis is just. I think we take him for granted.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just what's Giannis doing now? Everything he always does.
Destroying everybody in his path.
Yeah,
exactly. My number 2, Jason Tatum. I mean, you could probably switch those two, but you could switch them either way, And my number 1, the Joker. It's just stupid what he's doing.
Wow. Yeah. I'll say one thing about Tatum, and I bought the NBA League Pass the other day, hoping that I could, because we have a blackout here in Denver, so I can't. Altitude Sports does not have a contract with the Nuggets, so you can't watch them. So I thought, all right. They have a special going on for the end of the year. I'm going to buy the League Pass so I can watch the Nuggets. I bought the League Pass. Still can't watch the Nuggets. So I've been watching a lot of games. And I will say, I think the one thing that jumps out at me about Jason Tatum is I think he's expanded his range this year. He is taking more threes and making more. I think he's taking like 9 threes a game, and he's hitting like 30-35% of his threes. That spells trouble for other teams in the East, because I think he creates, if the rest of the Celtics are healthy, he creates some matchup problems that are really, really interesting. I don't think the Celtics are a lock-in, but I think he has gone from an MVP caliber player last year, and I think he's improved.
I agree. Yeah, he's better than he was playing last year.
We'll see what he does in the playoffs. That's always the for
acid test.
For a lot of these guys, we don't. You could say Jokic, Embiid, SGA, Tatum. Obviously made it to the finals last year, but I don't think he played his best series by far.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron obviously has proven himself, but the other people on this list, not a lot of deep playoff experience other than Tatum. So we'll see. But there's some under the radar talent here beyond the obvious John Morant's and Trae Young's in there. SGA is, and I'll tell you what, that Oklahoma City team is a fun team to watch. If you ever find yourself, up late at night and you want to switch off from pickleball for a few minutes, put on the OKC Thunder. They're worth watching. They're a fun team to watch. I think they're going to be pretty good.
I think they are. I do. And I agree with all of that. Pete?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's there's if nothing else, there's a reason to watch them.
Right.
Right.
And, I'll tell you the other team I've been watching, and I find them, I think they're better. I don't know how. Is the Nets. The Nets somehow are playing their best basketball after getting rid of their whole team. Now, I'm not dumb enough to say that the Nets are better without Kevin Durant than they are with him, but they're playing some good basketball with these new guys.
They are. They're like gelling. I mean, for some reason they got something going on. I mean, they're only they're 3 games in the loss column, but only 2 games ahead of the Knicks right now for. Yeah. I mean, they could be going back and forth. We could be looking at, a potential 4 and 5 seed between the Knicks and the Nets either way.
Yeah, a Knicks-Nets first round playoff matchup would be the talk of the town. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Look, if the Knicks don't jump past the Nets, then that's a failure on the Knicks, and you have to give props to the Nets because I think everybody expected them to maybe drop even out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, there's also the possibility, right? We could be looking at the Knicks and the Nets being in the 7-8 play-in game, right?
There's still a few games left. You're right. Yes.
But we'll see.
The Nets are interesting because they actually kind of have to play team basketball now, and I think they're listening to their coach. And there's no more prima donnas left on this team.
No.
They still have some issues with closing.
Right.
A
lot of teams do. A lot of teams do. The Lakers have trouble closing. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some good talent on there, some pretty good young talent on that. So on the Brooklyn Nets, and I think they're like you can watch and actually see a little bit of fundamental basketball being played there. So
I think this last third of the season, or whatever it is here post All-Star break, I think the NBA is going to be. I think we're going to have some really, really good races here. It's going to get interesting, especially if guys get healthy and play.
Agreed. All right. Cool. Well, I mean, we're setting up for the second half of the season. Of course, the second half of the season is only 24 games in for some reason.
Right. That's why I said the last third of the season.
Right. So, but in any event, we're going to keep more of an eye on basketball now. Clearly, with football being over and baseball not starting up yet. So, we'll definitely keep that going. All right. Do we have an old balls tonight? Harry, you have an old balls tonight?
I don't, other than myself. No.
All right. Old balls tonight is Harry.
I will. I was going to talk about something at the end, but I will throw it into this old ball segment since we're talking about NBA. I think somebody needs to give Carmelo Anthony a roster spot. One of these playoff teams should give him a spot. I think people are missing an opportunity to get a wing player who can come in off the bench and still play with a second unit and make a difference in the playoffs. I'm still holding out hope that Carmelo's career isn't over. It might be. I might be way off base here, but I don't think anybody really talks about him. People don't really bring up his name very much, and I think people are missing out. I think you could still sign him, obviously, towards the end of the season here.
You can. You can't. There's no trading, obviously.
Right. Well, he's not on any team, so you can't trade him for his Barcalounger. Yeah. But I've been following him. He's still playing. He's still working out every day. Carmelo's mid-range and 3-point game, his efficiency has actually gone up over the last couple of years. And I'm not saying he's the Carmelo of old by any means. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think this is, Patrick Ewing on the Sonics level of I think this is a guy who could give you a little bit of Robert Horry in a playoff series. And boy, if you put him on the court, when you're shifting between first and second teams, he can maybe create some matchup problems. He's going to be a defensive liability. I think we all know that at times. But the other thing is that he became a much better team off the ball defender as he got older.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think people are missing the boat. So there's my old balls for this week.
I have to agree with you. I think he's got a little left in the tank. I don't think it's much.
No,
I don't think he's going away just yet. But
he's got a good 22 games and a playoff run.
I think if there's a team that's on the fringe of the playoffs that has a weak spot that needs a little something extra, they may take a flyer on him, and pull it out. But all right, well, there you go. This week's Carmelo Anthony. This week's old balls.
Not so old balls.
That was one. That was one. He only had old ball.
Slightly sagging, but not old ball.
There you go. Old ball. There you go. All right, cool. All right, I got another. I got the non-sports, just a quickie for you. We'll start with Pete on this one. Rihanna's halftime show, yes or no?
I didn't really watch it. I mean, I don't know. I like the remake of it where everybody's putting the Muppet Show music to it. I think that's
better. I didn't see it.
All right, I did see what they had her on. They had these platforms flying around.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. I saw it. I was actually I was doing my weather reports during halftime, so I was kind of watching it out of the corner of my eye. So I did see. So it was kind of cool. She was way up on the thing, on the platform there, and I was trying to decide if it was real or if it was CGI.
There was it was real.
Her music's okay. You know,
she's definitely not afraid of heights.
No, I know. I wish she would have just made a better attempt at, giving the illusion that she might not have been lip syncing. Because she just
who cares?
I know you don't care, but still, she there were times where she was singing and she wasn't even moving her lips and the mic was down at her side. I mean,
look, I'm not going to be interested I'm not going to be interested in a halftime show unless Black Flag reform and fucking perform. I mean, I don't care.
Well, two things about that was the platforms that she was on, the other people, whatever. They somebody did a video of it moving around at the halftime show and her singing and whatever. But it was the voice of Emperor Palpatine saying we will reform the Republic into the new empire.
To me, it looked like a supersized Donkey Kong.
Well, that's another one. Yeah, that would be a good other one.
That's interesting.
But
I thought she was gonna jump from one to the next and avoid a barrel.
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't hear it. So I wasn't. Her music's okay. It's not something I make a point of listening to, but I don't hate it.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I didn't really. I wasn't. I had zero interest really. I wouldn't have. If I had been watching downstairs, I would have turned away. I would have watched it. I would have changed the channel, but I didn't really have any interest in seeing it. I wasn't like, I can't wait to see Rihanna.
I mean, look, it's all downhill once you stop the nipple slips. I mean, come on.
What are you going to do then? Yeah, exactly. Well, the other thing I saw a meme. It said, what the NFL thinks we want for a halftime show. And it showed Snoop Dogg and Rihanna and a couple others. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and that's fine. But it says what we really want, and it was Robert Plant and Jimmy Page.
Nobody wants that. Nobody fucking wants that. I mean, you may as well throw like an old leather jacket up there and a broken Gibson Les Paul and just tell everybody it's Robert Plant and Jimmy Page.
There you go.
Yeah. Some old grumpy guy wants that, but trust me, the marketing department at the NFL and the halftime show, this is exactly what people want. The only thing bigger would be, I don't know, whoever, Lizzo or somebody else who's big, Ed Sheeran with John Mayer and
Lizzo.
And Lizzo.
And Lizzo, right, yeah.
And somebody else that I don't know. The Weeknd or the...
Oh, no, not the Weeknd again.
That was the leap year. Or, I don't know.
The Weeknd. Wednesday.
Fortnite.
That's right.
Fortnite.
Oh,
next month.
Let's not.
If you love the Weeknd, you're gonna go crazy for the Fortnite.
You're gonna go crazy for the long weekend.
The long weekend.
Yeah, we have the weekend. We have the holiday weekend.
That's right.
We have the Fortnite. We have next month.
And we have
this summer.
And we have the Australian holiday
coming up this summer.
Look, I mean, if they really wanted the biggest star, I mean, it would be Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish or something along those lines.
You're going to say Billy Idol. I was like,
Billy Idol, and Billie Eilish together.
They'll call it Idol Eilish.
That's right.
Billy Idol's Eilish.
Nobody wants to see Billy Idol that close anymore. Look, this is again there's people who just the football game. All right, halftime. Here we go. And then it's the opposite. Old fucks like us. It's like, what the hell is this? I mean, obviously Rihanna's talented. Obviously people love her music. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to introduce guys like us.
Yeah.
No, modern culture. Or wait a minute. Or if they're just trying to get the younger audience not to change the channel because Jimmy Page and Robert Plant come on.
Right, exactly. I mean, like, who the hell are these old guys?
The once formerly traveling Wilburys, but they don't get out so much anymore because they have bad hips.
Yeah. I mean, John. Let's not forget about John Paul Jones. He's still alive.
No, you can bring John Paul out. Absolutely.
And the Bonham's kid, who's now 70.
Yeah.
Jason Bonham, right?
Jason Bonham.
He's like
44 years old now.
Oh, he's older than that.
Yeah, he's like 56 years old.
Anyway,
get the young kid. Get the young kid to play drums.
There you go. What was I going to say? What best Super Bowl commercial?
I didn't really.
Ooh,
none of them stuck out to me. Yeah.
There was. I'll say this. I thought the first was it Pepsi Zero or whatever.
Right.
The Pepsi with Ben Stiller, I thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
Where he was talking about
when he was Zoolander at the end, he pouring it all over himself, kind of thing.
Yeah, that was very funny. And then he's drinking it and going, "Oh, that's delicious." Or was I acting? It was funny.
Right.
But then after that, it was, and again, Steve Martin's had its own flair because he really went into it, right? Wow. Yeah. But it was the same gag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kept doing the same gag with different people.
With different actors.
And
exactly.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, we get it. And so I thought the first one was very funny. And I'm a big Ben Stiller fan anyway.
Yeah,
but after that, it was kind of a letdown. So,
all right.
But there were a lot of dogs. I'm trying to think. There was something else I liked, but I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember either. Do you guys really want to feel old?
Go ahead.
The WhatsApp commercial is 23 years old.
23 years old.
Yeah.
What's up?
How old is the Apple commercial, the one that started all?
Oh, I don't know, but
it's 40 years old.
But the Coke and
well, no, for 39 because it was the Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl in '84. So it was so it's 39 years old, that one.
And the commercial which inspired the ending of Mad Men would like to take the world to sing, the have a Coke and a smile. I think that was played during the Super Bowl, and I think that was 69, 68, 69, something like that.
Yeah. This is the point. We remember those. Now, of course, we've seen them referenced.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They're in all the,
I remember the commercial. I don't remember that it was in the 69.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. But
in 69, yeah.
We've seen them before, and we've seen them in the greatest Super Bowl commercial compilation shows and all that. But nothing, nothing really.
No, I think there were kind of duds this year. I
think there were a few duds. I think they were overall all right. I don't think there was anything that was horrible, but I don't think there was anything that was really standoutish either. I think it was just it is what it is. Was what it was.
I did like the wasn't there one from the what's that kooky? What's L. Ron Hubbard's religion?
Scientology.
Yeah, there was a Scientology commercial.
There was a commercial for the GOP too. It was Elon Musk and Rupert Murdoch. Was that a commercial?
Yeah, that was great.
Or was that just them?
No, that was just throwing it up. That was just them at the Super Bowl eating chips. That's all that was.
I thought it was a Doritos commercial.
No, it wasn't. It was just part of the Super Bowl.
I'm
the cameraman panned over to.
I thought maybe it was a dentures commercial.
No.
I'm pretty sure that scene played out on The Simpsons probably
yes.
7 or 8 years ago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now
Without a
it's,
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah,
once again, they foretold the future.
Foretold the future, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Do we have an over/under?
We do. Actually, I want to just mention one other thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Sports related, because it's look in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal, but this happened. I think it was on the 8th of this month, so almost 10 days ago. But we didn't talk about it on the Super Bowl show. There's a pretty good basketball team that plays in Connecticut at the University of Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the Lady UConn Huskies.
I thought you were talking about the Mystics.
No, not the Mystics. UConn, right? They're the standard, right?
You're talking about the Quinnipiac. No.
Yeah. Well, on the 8th of this month, Marquette beat UConn.
Yeah, they lost their second game.
For the first time in 30 years that Marquette has beaten UConn, snapped an 0-for-22 record against them, and that was the first time. The first time in 30 years that UConn has lost back-to-back games. They were 75-0 after a loss prior to those games. So now this doesn't mean that Marquette is great or that UConn has fallen into the toilet. I don't think they're the best team in the country anymore, but that's a pretty. It's more of a monument or a testament to the program.
Gino Moriema and the Connecticut program are just not talked about enough.
No.
Yeah. Well, because when you're that great, it becomes like it's not amazing anymore. You come to expect it.
And look, women's college basketball there's been other teams that have really stepped up to challenge them, and women's college basketball in general, I think, has become incredibly competitive and interesting. And there's a lot of new programs but there's also a lot of programs that are in the early stages of what Connecticut has done, where they're building these juggernauts.
Yeah.
And, South Carolina, obviously, you got a couple others in there, but I think the women's tournament every year is sometimes the beginnings of the women's tournament, especially are sometimes more interesting than the men's, just because there are some schools that, are just going to be really tough to beat. And it seems like they're the ones that are there every year in the final 8 and the final 4. So, I mean, props to all these schools for building these women's programs that are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And there's a lot. At least some more parity on the men's side of things too.
Right. Absolutely.
I think I heard today or yesterday.
Now
the number one men's team has lost, and this is not the same team, 11 times this season. Yeah. So far.
Oh, there's one glaring reason for that, and that's that. For the most part, it's starting to change a little bit. There's a way higher percentage of 2, 3, and 4 year, players on the women's side than there are on the men's side. Yeah.
Right.
Agreed. There you go. All right. One quick thing. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, if you want to do it for real, we could do that.
Okay.
I do have to leave in like 2 minutes, so let's do the for real, and then I'm gonna go over. So you guys can
for real and over.
We can save it.
We'll do it.
We can save it.
No, go ahead.
We'll do it really quick before we do the for real. I just want to let you know, Jason Bonham is 56.
I was right. That's what I said.
Okay, and if you want
to throw over under actually,
and if you want and if you want to throw Zach Starkey in there too, Zach Starkey's 57.
57.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's do the are they for real? There we go. Let's get it going.
All right, let's do a little are they for real?
What
and again,
is real?
as we
How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel,
I didn't know we were going to do the entire
taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your.
That's only another 10 seconds anyway.
That's real.
10
You're
minutes.
not real.
For real. Yeah. Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
Go for it.
What is real?
What is real?
All right, we're going to take a look at hockey, which we don't usually do.
Shit.
I
don't know.
Those New York Rangers have won 6 in a row. This is not including any action going on tonight. 8-1-1, 6 in a row. And now 8 points behind Carolina, 3 points behind them Jersey Devils, and 11 points ahead of them New York Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
So the Rangers on a little hot streak, or are they for real? Or maybe both?
Me first. Both. They're on a hot streak, and they are for real. They are gelling.
Right.
They need another piece, maybe, and I think they're going to make a deep playoff run. I think they're together, and I also don't think – I think they're going to make a deep playoff run this year. They're not getting to the Cup. If they do get to the Cup, they're not winning it, but I think with all the pieces that they have there, next year's their year. I think if they don't get far enough this year, then they're winning the Cup next year. So that's mine, but yes, they are for real. That's me. Harry?
Yeah, they're for real. The Rangers have a good team, but they're not winning the Cup this year.
No, I just said they probably aren't, but next year – They that one other piece they're missing, they get that in the offseason, they're right there next year. They're look for them to be one of the favorites.
They're 1 or 2 homophobic Russians away from a championship.
Yeah, that's
fair enough.
All right, sticking with hockey, team I don't know if we've ever mentioned, certainly not me, or maybe
Hartford Whalers, the Hartford Whalers.
No, have never even bothered to mention their name or had reason to. The Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg Jets.
In second in the Central Division, although they're not on a hot streak necessarily, but they're only 2 points behind them Dallas Stars. It's Winnipeg for real.
I refer to them as the other Jets. Also as the better Jets. So yes, they're for real.
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair. They're the better Jets. There's another Jets that's in between them and the New York Jets that are better Jets, and that's the Jets from West Side Story. But anyway,
but they're also way better than the Jets from Benny and the Jets.
Benny,
absolutely,
absolutely, no, definitely.
Well, once Benny left them, they were done.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
no, they're for real. Winnipeg's for real.
All right, and we'll take a look at this is sort of a predictive thing. I think they've lost 3 in a row, but we're going to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. The new look Dallas Mavericks, Doncic and Kyrie. Nobody wants to take the last shot there.
Hold on.
We've had one game to watch them play together.
I know, but whoa! You just made a big error. You said Doncic and Irving. It's Irving and Doncic. Kyrie said so. Get it straight.
Okay. Reverse alphabetical order. All right. So this is like I said, this is a bit predictive. Can they improve their status? Let's see. Where are they? They're number 6 right now.
If they don't,
let me say this: if they're for real, they will not be in the play-in. If they're not for real, they will be.
They're for real.
Well, at least. All right, they're for real.
Yeah, they're for real. I mean, Luka's. Yeah.
And by the way, I left Luke off my top 5. That was hard only because I wanted to talk about other people, but
yeah.
You could have put Luka on there. You could have put a few other.
He was 5A for me.
Yeah, he was 5. He's and Kyrie's probably 7. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they have it's like Kyrie's hurt again. It's just like, I hope they implode. Anyway,
well, there you go.
Dirk Nowitzki, they're not.
No,
that's true. That's true. All right, that's it for Are They For Real?
All right, I'm gonna leave, but you guys do the over under. I'm gonna go over.
So whatever it is, and we'll let you know. All right, you got it.
All right, guys.
All right, so you have. Hold on. In case anybody is where are you playing? Well, this is obviously Wednesday, but you playing anywhere this coming Friday?
Am I playing anywhere this coming Friday?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. No.
Any other shows coming up soon? You're
in April and in March potentially. I'll let you guys know. We got an album coming out too. So
we'll put up awesome, and we're gonna change the openings too. So
we got some new music.
Yeah, we got some. There we go. Cool. All right, cool.
All right, guys.
Have fun tonight. We'll talk to you later. He's going over. You got it.
All right.
He's going over.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too bad he couldn't stick around. This is going to be one of his favorites.
All right.
The old container full of stuff.
Container full of stuff. There you go. There it is.
Container full.
I can see it. I can see it better without the light off. Actually.
Yeah. Okay. These are anchors, screw anchors.
Yep.
Okay. You put like into the sheetrock.
Sure.
And then you drive a screw into it, and the bottom spreads out, and it holds better than a regular screw. So we got. I'll give you the tour here. We got some blue ones here.
Mhm.
These are pretty decent sized. And we've got some of these like, I don't know, pasty, grayish.
Yep.
These are a little smaller, but they've got these little back
The
hooks,
little
like
back
a little,
clips.
yeah, like a little arrow thing.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of much smaller little black ones.
Oh, the little babies. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a whole jabumble of them. And this is I think it's an old medicine bottle. Yeah, it's an old CVS bottle.
Looks that way, yeah. All right.
They took the label off. So this would probably be, I don't know. This would definitely was a 90 count of something, I would think.
Right, yeah.
So I'll give you a look here. Take a little bit of a look at the bottom. Doesn't really show you anything.
Fair enough.
And I'll spin it around for you.
Yeah.
Quite pretty. Harry's going to be mad he missed this.
He's going to be mad, yeah.
And you want to see it some more, or are you good?
No, I'm good.
All right. So Harry's going to take the over. The over-under for the pill bottle of screw anchors, sheetrock anchors, is words I thought I'd never say again, is 58.5.
58.5.
58.5.
8.5. I'm going to go under.
You're going to go under?
I'm going under.
All right.
I'm going under. All right.
Now, are you going because you want to maintain somebody has to win? or you legitimately think it's under?
It's just a good. It's just a bonus that somebody could win, but no, I think it is under. I do. I'm going to go under.
All right, there we go. All right. Well, as usual, I have the answer hanging up here, which I'm going to remove now, and I will open to reveal that the number is. Can't even see.
Can't see it. Eh. Still don't see it. A little closer. 60.
60.
Harry wins. 60.
Harry wins. See, he's good at these, even when he's not around.
Even when he's not here, he wins.
I didn't even get a chance to show it to him. And he just went over. I wonder if
Lonesome tonight?
I bet I have a tendency.
Another topical reference for young viewers.
Yeah. I bet I have a tendency to go over.
You have a tendency to go over.
I think. Do you think that's true?
I can tell you right now. The last one we did was under. Harry has a tendency to go over, and I have a tendency to go under. The last one we did was an under, and I won. The one before that was an over, and Harry won. So
yeah.
So I guess you might lean more towards the overs.
Yeah, I'm just wondering historically.
I'll have to go back and look. I only know that from this page right here, but I can actually go back for every other show that we do the over-unders on and see what it is, and I could give you a list and we could figure it out. But yeah. But I do know that the very last one we did was under.
All right, so there we go.
So of the last two shows, you're 50-50 for over and under. So
that's right.
But in the last two shows, Harry bet over and I bet under, regardless of obviously who won and who didn't. So
as of our latest data compilations, 66% of the time I go.
Yeah, exactly. 66% of the time you go over, and
teams because it's only 2 out of 3.
And the one that was 2 weeks ago or 2 shows ago, 2 shows that we did over under on ago, when you went over again, I went over and Harry went under and I won. So in the last 3 shows, you've had 2 overs and 1 under, and I've won twice, 1 with each, and Harry's won once.
Ooh. So Harry's so he actually went under once.
He went 4 weeks ago. He went under. Yeah. Yes, and it was over.
He's gonna go over forever now after that.
There you go.
All right, so I'll just make them all under, and you'll win every week.
But he went under, and it was over when I picked over, and then the following week he went over, and I picked under, and it was under. So he lost 2 in a row. And
so my completely random system of making sure he loses is working. Except for tonight. He's not even here.
Well, yeah, because if he went first and he looked at that and said, "Oh, hey, maybe he would have said under," and I would have went over, and then we. Love it.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, anything else?
No, that's it.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we covered a lot.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to let me throw one thing at you real quick.
Throw one thing at me again.
A recurring segment, maybe. I just came across this, and it's obscure Olympic rules.
Okay.
And I'm just going to do one tonight, and then maybe we'll do a couple on the fun show because there's a bunch of them. Some of them are. You go, yeah, that makes sense. And some of them, not so much. So we'll start with number one here, just as it's compiled by Popular Mechanics, by the way, where I go to get my sports news.
Of course.
Competitors in the boxing competition in the Olympics must be clean-shaven or have extremely limited facial hair.
An Olympic rule.
Yeah. I'm trying to think back. Like, weren't there boxers that had like mustaches?
Well, does it mean does a clean shaven include mustache or just for beards? Does it say?
It says clean shaven. You have to shave your upper lip too, I think, right? If you're clean shaven, you can't have a mustache.
Well, to me, clean shaven means no facial hair. So
yeah,
other than eyebrows, of course. But
right, yeah, they can have eyebrows. Yeah, it must be clean shaven or have limited facial hair.
Interesting. Unless they're letting the mustaches are part and parcel.
Oh, you know what? Maybe if it's a pencil mustache.
There you go.
Then you can have it.
Then you can have a pencil mustache. There you go. I haven't seen one of them in many years, but
yeah.
And usually and many years ago when I saw it, at that point it was in an old movie. So
right. Or it was a young kid who
couldn't get it going, right?
who hadn't shaved in like 9 months, and that's all he had,
right?
Because he was 12,
right?
So anyway, that's one. We'll review some more of these. Let's find some good ones here because some of them are actually pretty interesting. Some of them are that one's kind of boring, but
there you go.
So there we go.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, we'll talk about there's some baseball stuff going on. Pitches and catches are just reported last week, so that's fun. We'll do some more stuff next week on some hot stuff. I can't even. It's not even hot stuff baseball. It's spring training at this point.
Well, listen, we can talk about the new rules that are going into effect.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring that up tonight, but I knew we were going to have a limited show, so we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it on next week's show when the three of us can really dive into it a little bit, and maybe we'll get an MLB rules expert on the show as a guest that can weigh in on it a little bit. We'll see what that goes.
Listen, as we well know at this point, the NFL is not the only professional sports league that can fuck themselves up with rule changes.
Oh yeah,
I think baseball, they're not number one anymore, and I think they're shooting for number one, but in not necessarily the right category or the right way.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, 2 feet down a football move or what? And baseball's like here.
And you have a third foot, and then if you're sliding down, you can and then maybe if you're elbow, but you turn it and your shoulder goes down, but you're still holding onto the ball, and you had the 4th foot down before that happened, then you can get
part of your body except your hand, and that counts. And then baseball goes, hold my beer. Right. You want to see stupid rules? Right. I'll give you stupid rules.
I'll give you stupid rules. I got a picture. We'll talk about it next week. I got a picture of the new bases. It's not really, but it's pretty funny. So.
Oh yeah.
So
I hope there's pizza in them.
That would be nice.
Shouldn't there be pizza inside?
Slide in a second, and as your reward, it opens up, and you reach in, you get a slice. And while you're dusting yourself
off, if you're trying to steal and they want to review the call or whatever,
you get something to nosh on.
Snack while you're waiting for the replay guy.
I totally agree. So, cool.
So we'll talk about all that.
We'll talk about all of that. Sounds like
And
a
the
plan.
XFL. I think we should not devote a lot of really necessarily any time to the XFL, other
We
than
should.
talking about some of the wacky rules and rule changes that they have too.
That they have, yeah. I got to say, I'm a little disappointed that the was it the Hitmen was the New York, New Jersey, New
think
York
so,
team
yeah.
or whatever. They're not in the league. It's all there's no teams in the Northeast.
Or is that the USFL maybe?
No,
that
no.
was the XFL, right?
The XFL, yeah, it was the XFL. It was the
Who was
the only other league there was. Well, what was it 3 years ago, right before the pandemic, when the XFL had first started? It was the New Jersey, New York, or whatever it was, Hitmen. Maybe it's just a New Jersey Hitmen, I forget. But yeah, and I wanted to get to a game just to go, just to check it out. Kevin
Yeah,
Gilbride, former offensive coordinator for the Giants, was actually the head coach of the Hitmen.
There we go. Who were the Gladiators? Was that the
The
USFL?
Gladiators was
Not Gladiators. Is it Gladiators?
The Generals, the USFL, the New Jersey team was the Generals.
No, I thought no, it's not the Gladiators. Something similar to that.
Well, the remember the WLAF, the World League of American Football. It was in the it was in the late 80s.
I've got all the trading cards from the.
It was in the late 80s. It lasted a year or two. It was just stupid. And that's when they actually they had teams from Europe, and I think that's what actually, like, the Barcelona Dragons is in the NFL Europe. They were originally in the WLAF. They were originally in the World League of American Football. So NFL Europe was kind of born out of the WLAF, but the New Jersey New York Knights was the team.
That's right.
Yeah. I think the Gladiators, if I'm recalling, without looking it up, and I could look it up because I on a computer, obviously, but I don't feel like it. I think you're right. I think the XFL, the first incarnation of the XFL, which is about 20-something years ago, when Vince McMahon started it, when it was like a wrestling thing, and it was right. I think the New Jersey or the New York team was the Gladiators then. I think that's what it was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That wouldn't.
The current XFL from 3 years ago and then this year is a completely different league than what was. It was a rejuvenated 20 years later league from what Vince McMahon did back in the early 2000s. But I'm pretty sure they were the Gladiators. I think you're right. But there you go.
Just for reference, Gladiators NYC.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on the intertubes and look at that. The oldest and premier league, school, and team club of armored combat in New York City.
There you go.
So there we go.
In New York City. The oldest in New York City.
The oldest and premier.
And
so
premier.
The premier league.
Which means there's others.
League, school, and team/club of armored combat in New York City. And they have merch. You can get a unisex tank top, women's rash guard, sports bra, or athletic long shorts, all with the Gladiators NYC logo.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some other stuff. So so these are like those Renaissance nuts that dress up in armor and hit each other with, I assume, not super sharp swords. But I think if you get hit with a piece of metal, it hurts, right?
I think if you do, you do. Yeah, absolutely.
Premier League, School, and Team Club. All right, here we go. Just to give you what we believe. Positive outcomes in participants' lives through uplifting training and purpose, as well as for our local communities through service and social impact.
There you go. There you have it. And just so you know, the XFL, even back in 2001, when they first started the thing, it was the New York, New Jersey Hitmen then too. It wasn't the Gladiators. The Gladiators are apparently the Cleveland Gladiators are an Arena Football League team.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yep. And there was a New Jersey Arena Football League team, so they played awesome.
Okay. What was the New York team in the Arena League?
Good question. Hold on. Let's pull it up here. We have the technology.
I'm stupid.
Up. It was the yeah, you're right. It was the New Jersey Gladiators.
New Jersey Gladiators.
They were originally the Red Dogs. I was thinking the Red Dogs. The New Jersey Red Dogs were in the Arena Football League from 97 to 2000. In 2001 and 2002, it was the New Jersey Gladiators. Then from 03 to 07, they moved to Las Vegas, and they were the Las Vegas Gladiators. And then 08 to 2017, they were the Cleveland Gladiators. So they were the New Jersey Gladiators. You're right. There you go. Give that man a shirt.
How about that?
There you go.
You know, Bob Stoops is coaching the Arlington Renegades of the new XFL.
That's crazy. Yeah. And these are the teams, too, for the new XFL, too. We'll talk about it, obviously, on another show. But 8 teams. Arlington Renegades, the Houston Roughnecks, the San Antonio Brahms, whatever that is, the DC Defenders, the Orlando Guardians, the Seattle Sea Dragons, the St. Louis Battlehawks, and the Vegas Vipers.
I'm going to read you the coaches' names.
Go for it.
All right. Arlington is Bob Stoops.
Bob Stoops, right here.
From Oklahoma. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
DC Defenders is Reggie Barlow.
Reggie Barlow.
Played for the Jaguars. 8 years in the NFL. Played for the Jaguars, Jaguars, that is, Raiders, and Bucks as a receiver and kick returner. Houston Roughnecks, Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips. I did hear that. I heard that. I did hear that.
83 and 69 over 9 seasons with the Broncos, Bills, and Cowboys. Orlando Guardians, Terrell Buckley. How about that? 14 years in the NFL. The San Antonio Brahmas, which is probably the best name and the worst name at the same time.
Right.
Coached by Hines Ward.
Hines Ward is coaching San Antonio. Look at that.
Yeah, good for him. All right. The Seattle Sea Dragons. Why did they not go with Sea Chickens?
I know, right?
Seattle Sea Dragons coached by, let's see. Let's see if you can, don't look at it. See if you
I'm not looking at it.
Former coach of the New Orleans Saints. Played 8 years in the NFL as a linebacker for the Bills and the Jets. And also coached the United Football League's Florida Tuskers to a 6-0 record in 2009.
Huh.
Probably the stint as the New Orleans Saints. 6 seasons, 2000 to 2005.
Interesting. I can't think.
Blonde, big nose.
What the hell's his name? 3 names, right?
Nope, just 2.
Just 2?
3 syllables. Boom, boom, boom. I don't think he was successful.
I can see him.
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. That's what I'm thinking of. But I thought it was 3.
Yeah. Nope. It's not Jim Bob, just Jim.
I wasn't going there. Give me the first letter of his last name.
H.
Why did I automatically go to Hackett?
That's close.
I know.
It's almost, that's practically it.
Haskell. It's Hacklebarney. No.
Yeah. All right. I'll put you out of your misery.
Hazlitt. Jim Hazlitt.
Yeah. All right. St. Louis.
That's what I was thinking. I was picturing Jim Hazlitt's face, but I was seeing 3 names. And then when you said it's not 3 names, just 2, it threw me. But,
he was forgettable.
Yeah, it was very forgettable. Yeah.
St. Louis Battlehawks. That's not a bad name either, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's Anthony Becht.
Oh, interesting.
First round draft picked by the Jets in 2000, and now he's coaching. Let's see, the Vegas Vipers, coached by Ron Woodson.
Ron Woodson.
How about that?
Interesting. All right. I think Hines Ward. That's funny. With San Antonio. That's great.
We should, we should pick. Well, I don't know if they have a Coach of the Year award, but
We'll give them one.
well, they started already, right? Does this start like 2 days ago, or no, not 2 days ago, more than that. I don't know. Whatever. Started recently, right?
Mm-hmm. It did.
You know what? Here's the problem. Let me look at the calendar here, because I've been working. Because I was working for like 2 weeks straight because of Valentine's Day and the holiday and the weekends and stuff. So I no longer know what day it is.
Started last weekend. It started this past weekend.
Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Started this past Saturday. So we'll have to do some research on it. We'll talk more next week with Harry. We'll do a little research on it, and we'll devote maybe 5 minutes to it. We'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. That doesn't deserve much time.
We'll give it as much time as we give pickleball. How's that? Or maybe a little. Oh, we give pickleball a little extra time though lately. So.
That seems fair.
That's fair. Yeah. So very good. Cool. All right. So a lot of good fun stuff coming up. So we'll keep everybody posted, and we'll have some fun. There you go. All right. Anything else? I think we're good.
That's it.
All right. At that note, we'll wrap the show up for today. We want to get ready for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Do you think I Love Radio was taken?
I think so.
And they had the heart in the name, so they're like, well, just call it iHeartRadio.
I believe you're right.
Yeah. Like
I adore radio.
You think they could just call it I Love Radio?
I'm infatuated with radio.
I heart radio. Like
I heart radio.
Like a small kid who's trying to
I heart you, and
sickeningly sweet, trying to be cute for its own good.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, it's like the biggest radio company in the world.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what do I know?
Exactly.
That's why I don't work there anymore. iHeartRadio? That's stupid.
So maybe it should be the Get On With It podcast. No H, just to the with it.
I heart to get on with it.
Right.
Podcast. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.